Hi, I'm Jeff Murrah. I want to welcome you to True Texas History, where today we are going to take a look at the Battle of Medina, and also how revisionism plays into it. This is one of those events in Texas history that ever since it happened, there's been revision about the whole episode. I encourage you, if you enjoyed today's video, to go ahead and check out my other video on the Gutierrez-McGee expedition, because the Battle of Medina was a part of the expedition. Now, the battle itself occurred August 18th, 1813. So this is the 210th anniversary. Yahoo! Okay, now without going into all the details about the Gutierrez-McGee expedition, you have an army of people that have come into Texas. They call themselves Republicans because the group has volunteers from Mexico, people from Spain, people from the United States, and each of them want a Republic of Texas. Now, there is a lot of debate because even among the leadership of the Gutierrez-McGee expedition, because the Americans, after the Republic of Texas was declared by Gutierrez in San Antonio, the Americans wanted Texas to become part of the United States, and there were some in the party that wanted Texas to be a state of Mexico. Now, if you look at Wikipedia and some of those other things, which Wikipedia, by the way, is in some ways a CIA front, the information says that it was about the Republic of Mexico. No, it was about the Republic of Texas fighting the Royalists, in other words, the Spanish forces in the Battle of Medina. Now, this battle is the largest and the bloodiest battle ever fought on Texas soil. I know that's hard to believe because, we had the Battle of San Jacinto, you had the Battle of the Alamo, you had the Battle of Saltillo, you had a lot of different engagements, Battle of Laredo, Battle of Corpus Christi, but this was the largest. And in this engagement, there were actually a couple of Royalist army groups moving on into Texas to stop the Republicans in their effort. And in an effort to keep those two groups from joining up, the Republicans went ahead and left the safety of San Antonio and engaged them, and they ended up getting defeated. Now, in terms of numbers, there were about 1,400 Republicans, and the numbers vary in terms of how many Royalists. Now, the Royalists managed to, in the engagement, finally surround the Republicans, and they decimated their forces. Now, many of the Republicans managed to get away. In fact, some of the names you'll recognize at a later date. I mean, you had people involved in the battle. You had Reuben Ross, you had Jose Navarro, you had Toledo. Let's see, let me go through the list here. You had Henry Perry. Now, Henry Perry was a pirate who had run around with Jean Lafitte and that whole bunch. You have Peter Ellis Bean, who was a veteran of the Philip Nolan expedition. You also, Alvarez, let's see, it was Don Jose Alvarez Toledo. So you had several. Now, although their army was defeated, the men went ahead, and quite a few of them survived, and they ended up making their way to New Orleans. Now, once they got in New Orleans, actually Toledo was attempting to organize another expedition. He went so far as to travel to London and meet with General Winfield Scott to try to negotiate. And he was selling him on the idea of, hey, there's a way we can get to the King of Spain and we can do it through Mexico. Unfortunately, his plan was never able to be put into action. And a lot of the activity with the Battle of New Orleans distracted people's attention from another expedition to Texas at that time. Now, in this battle, because of the outcome, it involved Spanish forces. There were some people that were out for Mexican independence. There were people, there were representatives of the French. The English were involved. It had some international ramifications. And that intrigue goes back to the whole Gutierrez-McGee expedition. I mean, when you get into it, it was almost like a black bag operation for the way the whole thing went with all the international intrigue. But the battle occurred probably about 20 miles south of San Antonio. Now, one of the tragedies of the battle is that the women and children of men in the Gutierrez-McGee expedition were left in San Antonio. And when the Spaniards got there, there was a lot of abuse, and the women would be abused during the day and forced to, they would be abused part of the time and forced to cook for the Royalist army another time. It was harsh. They had a special prison built for them that could house 500 people, and it was bad news, and it left a bad taste in the mouth of the veterans of the Gutierrez-McGee expedition. Now, to give you an idea of the harshness, General Arredondo, who was in charge of the Royalist forces, when he captured some of those people that tried to escape and also those who surrendered, he would have them shot 10 at a time. Just line them up, shoot them down. Now, one of the cadets in the Royalist Army was none other than Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, who you will see show up again later in Texas history. So the Battle of Medina is one of those where you have a lot of personalities crossing each other's paths that will cross again. I mean, Navarro, Santa Anna, Henry Perry, Toledo, and many of these people do play further roles in the story of Texas. And this is one of those battles that, in my mind, shows that the Republic of Texas is older than the Republic of Mexico. The Republic of Mexico did not exist at that time. And I know that there are some people that say Mexico existed before Texas. Well, that's debatable, and this is one of those points that makes it debatable. I welcome your comments, your thoughts. I also welcome your thumbs up. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a good weekend. And until next time, this is Jeff Murrah wishing you vaya con Dios, my friends. Goodbye.